Now on 18 Eyewitness News.
Virtually the entire state of Missouri is suffering in extreme drought conditions. The 139th annual St. Francis County Fair wraps up on Saturday, plus the Wayne County Relay for Life is underway. All of these stories and are the cooler temperatures coming in this weekend.
Coverage you can count on. This is 18 Eyewitness News.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Fred Dawkins, and here are the top stories that we're working on for you at this hour. The drought of 2012 is getting worse. The U.S. Drought Monitor is reporting that nearly 93% of Missouri is in extreme drought condition. Now, that's an increase from just about 69% last week. More than 8% of the state is in extreme drought condition, including all of Butler and Stoddard counties, as well as portions of Wayne, Bollinger, and Ripley. Meteorologist Chris Knowles from the National Weather Service says droughts and extreme heat events are often connected.
The drier it gets, the more likely the temperatures are to soar even higher. So it compares to some of the all-time hottest events that we've ever seen.
Knowles says the extreme heat events in 1988, the mid-1950s, and the 1930s were accompanied by droughts as well. Well, speaking of our weather, Dustin Kopp is here in the Storm Tracker Center. He's got our first forecast. Dustin?
Good evening, Fred. Good evening, everybody. Temperatures this hour are in the 90s. It's hot out there, and it's been hot all day. 94 right now in Festus, 93 in St. Genevieve and Fredericktown. Potosi right now at 92 degrees, 94 in Van Buren, and 93 right now in Poplar Bluff. As we head through the evening hours, cloudy skies remain. 92 at 7 p.m., 87 by 9. And by midnight, we'll see a temperature around 81 degrees. It's been hot over southeast Missouri, and so far this year, we've seen 30 days of 90-plus degree weather and 14 days of 100-plus degree weather, and we're continuing to be in that drought. That bright red is pretty much the entire state of Missouri, and the drought just continues for pretty much the majority of the country. Here, we'll have more details coming up later in weather for the weekend, all those coming up later in weather.
The Wayne County Relay for Life is underway inside the Clearwater Family Youth Center in Piedmont. When spokesperson Teresa Elkington visited our 18 Eyewitness News studios, she told us that Relay funds a number of services for a growing population.
Last year, 95 new cancer patients in Wayne County alone. That's a lot of people. And what I'm hoping to do is to get these services out there so people realize, so that the next 95 people that come up know, I can get a gas card to help me get back and forth. I can stay at Hope Lodge, or I can stay at a hotel, or if I need energy assistance, I might qualify for energy assistance through the American Cancer Society.
Teresa adds most of the money raised helps folks in Wayne County who are fighting cancer.
There's just so much people don't realize that that money does go back to the community to help.
Teresa says folks can look forward to entertainment, demonstrations, games, activities, and lots of food at this year's Relay for Life. Saturday will mark the end of the 139th annual St. Francis County Fair. When Fair Board member Jim Howard visited the 18 Eyewitness News studios, he told us the last day's events are some of the most popular, starting with the local truck and tractor pull.
And in the last few years, we've had a combination of trucks and tractors, or the hot rod tractors, and the people voiced their opinion. They wanted the trucks. They wanted the trucks. So the ARCMO pullers are strictly the truck event.
And Jim tells 18 Eyewitness News, based on ARCMO's promotional materials, it should be a good show.
From what we've seen of their videos promoting themselves, it should be a heck of a show.
Jim adds if the local pullers aren't finished by 7, they'll go back and wrap up their event after the ARCMO show. The St. Francis County Back to School Fair is set for this Saturday. This year, Young Faith in Christ will be hosting the event, stepping in for the East Missouri Action Agency. Executive Director of YFC, Marcus Archer, tells 18 Eyewitness News that children will get the school supplies they need, and their families could get a little something extra.
They'll get almost all of their school supplies needs met. And one other thing, I've had a sweet lady that I met that's always worked every year to go around and get collect some coupons from restaurants and some gas cards and things, so that hopefully, every hour we have a new group of people coming in we have scheduled. And every hour we're going to be handing out some of those, so just kind of randomly to families.
Archer says children will also get a number of health screenings too.
There'll be a vision screening, a hearing screening. They'll do a shot records check. They'll do a BMI, which is just body mass index. That's your weight and height and all that kind of stuff.
The St. Francis County Back to School Fair will start Saturday morning at 9 o'clock at the Central High School Field House. And when we come back, whooping cough is on the rise again in the state and in our area. That story coming up next on 18 Eyewitness News.
When you're looking for quality home furnishings, appliances, and more, look no further than Heartland Furniture and Appliance. Heartland Furniture and Appliance offers great low prices every day and 6 months same as cash financing. No hassle leasing and great customer service. With 3 locations to better serve you, the customer. In Doniphan, Dexter, and Piedmont on both sides of Main Street. Heartland Furniture and Appliance.
Sing a song about the Heartland. Sing a song about my life.
Oh, the blood of Jesus washes. Let it wash you this morning. Oh, the blood of Jesus shed for me. What a sacrifice that saved my life. With the blood, it is my victory.
Take control of your future by enrolling at the Unitech Career Center. Discover a new career with Unitech's nursing programs or the opportunities with Unitech's sheet metal fabricating program, or turn your hobby into a career with Unitech's power sports equipment program. From electrical trades to automotive technology programs, the first step to a well-paying future starts at the Unitech Career Center, Raider Road in Bonne Terre. For adult information, call 358-3011. For high school information, call 358-2271.
You're watching 18 Eyewitness News with Fred Dawkins, Chief Weathercaster Dustin Kopp, and Jeremy Martin with sports. 18 Eyewitness News continues.
Missouri is among 18 states cited by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, which have a higher risk this year of new whooping cough cases than the national average. Nurse Jamie Colliot of the Iron County Health Department says she's seeing an increase locally as well.
We have seen some cases of whooping cough. It is a very contagious disease. That's why they've recommended that children going into the 8th grade get the booster, because when we get our shots whenever we're going into kindergarten, they've realized that now it kind of wears off.
Jamie says whooping cough is dangerous for babies because it is so contagious.
Babies are the ones that are mostly affected seriously because they don't have any protection against it, and they get it from like their brothers or sisters or mom and dad.
Jamie says school children are required to have the tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis or Tdap immunization to cut down on the spread of whooping cough. A Leadwood man accused of murder will find out his jury trial date in October. 27-year-old Jason Roberts is charged with second-degree murder in connection with a Christmas Eve beating that left Michael Circlum of Bismarck dead. On Wednesday, Roberts pleaded not guilty at his arraignment before Circuit Court Judge Kenneth Pratt. The judge then rescheduled Roberts' trial setting for October 3rd. According to the probable cause statement, witnesses observed Roberts beating and kicking Circlum, who died 4 days later due to closed head trauma. Roberts claims it was self-defense. Poplar Bluff's new industrial park bypass is now open. Local officials were on hand Thursday morning to cut the ribbon on the $4 million project. Hundreds of trucks are expected to use the new road between the industrial park and Highway 67 every day, effectively ending semi-traffic in downtown Poplar Bluff. The project was paid for with a combination of local, state, and federal dollars. When we come back on 18 Eyewitness News, Alzheimer's disease is taking a dramatic toll in this country. We'll have that story and more coming up on 18 Eyewitness News.
The weekend's here, and we do have a little bit of a cool down for part of the weekend. I'll have all those details coming up next in weather.
When someone comes in a Mineral Area's emergency department, our focus is giving them the best treatment in the quickest manner possible. We track every single patient, sending the doctors information before they even walk in the room. We have dedicated X-ray and CT equipment in our emergency department. We don't have to waste any time running all over the hospital. We know that minutes count in an emergency, and you can count on ER Plus at Mineral Area Regional Medical Center.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker 18 weather forecast with Chief Weathercaster Dustin Kopp.
And welcome back. More hot weather is on the way for southeast Missouri, but we do see a little bit of a cool down for part of the weekend. Looking at weather headlines for our area, we're going to see isolated thunderstorms continue through Saturday. Hot times on Saturday, but a little bit cooler on Sunday. And it looks like we're going to start warming things back up for next week. Here in southeast Missouri, temperatures are in the 90s. 93 right now in Cape Girardeau, 93 in St. Genevieve, as well as in Fredericktown. 94 right now in Piedmont, Poplar Bluff at 93. Up to our north in Festus, 94, and Potosi, 92 degrees. Here at the station, we have a current temperature of 94 degrees under a cloudy sky. It's hot out there though, feels like 100, current dew point 70, 45% humidity, and a south wind at 8 miles per hour. As we go through the day tomorrow, we're going to see this rain start pushing into our area, giving us a chance of isolated thunderstorms for tomorrow. 75 degrees for your overnight low with cloudy skies, possible isolated thunderstorm, light to variable winds. 72 in Festus through Potosi, Ellington 73, 72 in Van Buren, and down in Poplar Bluff 75. Then for tomorrow, hot times over southeast Missouri, 99 degrees here in Farmington. A lot of 100s on the map. Pretty much everybody near 100 degrees. South wind 10 to 15. Isolated thunderstorms are likely. The next several days are looking like this through southeast Missouri. We'll continue to see hot times for a while, but a little bit cooler on Sunday. Partly sunny skies, 93, 94 and sunny on Monday. Then on Tuesday and Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, 96 on Tuesday, 97 on Wednesday. A little bit cooler on Thursday, 96 sunny skies, warming back up to near 100 on Friday. Another check of our weekend forecast here in southeast Missouri. Isolated thunderstorms on Saturday, 99 degrees, low of 75, then 93 on Sunday with partly sunny skies. Let's check your Storm Tracker weather forecast. More details look at froggy96online.com. Just click on the weather tab. Fred, back to you.
Alzheimer's disease is taking a dramatic toll in this country. Not only are more than 5 million people and their families dealing with it, but treating it is a costly endeavor involving nearly $175 billion a year. That's $20 million an hour every hour of every day. But the latest weapon in the war against Alzheimer's disease only cost a few pennies. And as Clark Powell shows us, it could have a dramatic impact on this devastating disease.
Having been a dentist, a professor, and the editor of a journal most of his career, Dr. Don Bowers didn't want to just stop working when he retired, so he kept writing. Until one day when he was researching facts for a paper and made a startling discovery.
And I came to find out that I had already written this thing, and that really scared me.
Dr. Bowers was diagnosed with the early signs of Alzheimer's disease, but only after complex tests like MRIs and a spinal tap, tests that confirmed what this simple written exam may have hinted at long ago.
If you have a very inexpensive test, a few pieces of paper and a pen is all you need, you can identify, they're having a little bit of change in their thinking.
Dr. Douglas Shari developed the test at Ohio State University Medical Center. He says while the exam itself is very straightforward, it took years to design. He wanted to evaluate every part of a patient's brain, from language to memory to problem solving. This one test does all those things and could be given to any patient practically anywhere.
It allows us to identify people at an earlier stage. Right now we have great medications for Alzheimer's disease, but they work the best if they started earlier.
Shari says many patients aren't diagnosed until years after their symptoms appear, and by then, many have already lost not only valuable time for treatment, but invaluable memories of those they love. By developing this new test, Shari hopes to spot those issues much earlier and treat patients much more effectively. At Ohio State University Medical Center, this is Clark Powell reporting.
Experts who developed the test at Ohio State also said it could save billions of dollars in treatments. The test can be identifying who needs expensive MRIs and spinal taps and could spare others from undergoing those tests if they're not necessary. Coming up in today's Your Life segment, if you've got kids, you've probably heard, "Can I keep it?" But some pets can leave parents' patience on a short leash. We'll count the cost of keeping Rover in today's Focus on the Family.
Your Health is brought to you by Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy. Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy of Deloge. We're caring for you and about you is our business. From taking time to explain your medication, offering a caring touch, to a full line of medical equipment, supplies, and diabetic shoes. We'll help you understand your options and assist you with Medicare drug plan enrollment with a comfortable waiting area, convenient drive-through or free delivery. Caring for our neighbors is our business. Your locally owned Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy just off of Highway 67 at the Deloge exit. When you're recovering from a traumatic injury, the last thing you need is an unexpected bill. Because most health insurers pay only a part of air transport, Archair Medical has a solution, the Omni Advantage program. For a membership fee of $49 per year, Omni Advantage guarantees you and other covered family members will not have to pay anything that your health insurer doesn't provide. In an extraordinary emergency, the last thing you need to worry about is cost. Contact Archair Medical or visit them on the web to discover all the advantages of Omni Advantage.
How far would you go to save Rover or Fluffy or even the hamster? Dr. Bill Meyer is here now with a humorous look at the lengths we'll go for our kids when it comes to their pets.
One could say that Stuart the cat is leading a charmed life.
And he's nice and plump and fat now.
But his beginnings were very humble.
When we first saw him, he was pretty scrawny, pretty dirty. He was missing some claws on the back, which either he had been hit by a car or something had affected his foot. The fleas were all over him. He had some sores on him.
The Velasquez family met Stuart the cat while on vacation in California, 1,000 miles from home. It's not exactly the ideal way to adopt a pet, so Dad, Steve, was understandably not enthused.
He did not like it at all. My mom and I talked a lot about how we were going to convince him.
Well, and I remember saying, Steve, you could be your daughter's hero. It was about her heart and what she really wanted, and she's an animal lover and wanted to rescue this cat more than anything. He looked at me like, thanks, no pressure.
Steve finally relented, but it cost a small fortune to fly little scrawny Stuart home.
So you have to buy a ticket, you have to get a certificate of health from a veterinarian, and then you have to get a FAA approved carrier. And so in my mind, cha-ching, it's racking up.
It might seem a bit crazy, but sometimes we do crazy things for our pets and for the kids who love them. Of course, it's a balancing act, and sometimes your budget won't stretch that far. Helping a child understand those limits and responsibilities will pave the way for a pet to enrich your family life.
They really don't ask a lot. You do have to be responsible for their care, but what people receive in return is often well worth the investment.
Steve and his family are definitely grateful.
I couldn't imagine not having him. He's such a great cat, and he's so friendly. He's amazingly friendly, and he's beautiful too.
For Focus on the Family, I'm Dr. Bill Meyer.
For more valuable information on life's issues, relationships, and family, please visit FocusOnTheFamilyTV.com. Today's Plugged-In movie review looks at the new Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days.
I can't believe it's so crowded here. Maybe we should come back.
How about never? Does never sound good?
Boys, a family swim is a great way to kick off the summer.
Let's not forget, opening day is free.
School's out and Greg is determined to enjoy his summer in the movie Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days. Of course, Greg's version of a great summer is a king-size bag of chips, a six-pack of pop, and playing video games 24/7. And it feels like everyone in his family is out to keep that from happening. His dad has decided that Greg needs to get outside more and signs him up for the Wilderness Scouts. And his mom wants him to read some classic novels, starting with Little Women. So Greg decides to lie about getting a summer job at the local country club.
That's pretty high.
Are you talking to yourself?
No.
At least there, he can hang out with his pal Rowley at the pool. Oh, and his school crush Holly is usually there too. Not quite video games, but not bad. Even that balloon of summer bliss gets punctured though when he has a falling out with Rowley. And Greg's parents have this silly rule about lying that could mean trouble too. What's a kid to do? This latest in a series of Wimpy Kid adaptations is pretty typical to what's come before. It's a disjunct collection of comic situations and craziness. There's lots and lots of mild bathroom humor and young teen misbehavior. But some good messages about parent-kid relationships and learning from your mistakes help keep things afloat. So I'll give Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days 3.5 pool toys out of 5 for family friendliness. For an in-depth review on this film, come visit us at pluggedin.com or download our smartphone app. Plugging you into the movies, I'm Cheryl Wilhelmy for Focus on the Family's Plugged In Movie Review.
You can find reviews of other current movies, DVD releases, as well as music, games, and TV shows at pluggedin.com.
And coming up in sports, the Cardinals celebrate the 30th anniversary of the 1982 World Series champions. The Rams put on the shoulder pads and turn up the intensity. And Mizzou quarterback James Franklin is back from shoulder surgery. These stories coming up in sports on 18 Eyewitness News.
Attention, Accutane warning. If you have Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, or inflammatory bowel disease, it may have been caused by the acne drug Accutane. Accutane victims have recently been awarded millions of dollars. Do not delay. There are time deadlines to file a claim.
Call the Rely On Group now to be connected with an experienced attorney. There is absolutely no risk on your part. You don't owe us a penny unless we are successful.
Call the Rely On Group at 800-698-3105.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, call now to get the new talking meter. These new meters are more accurate, they're easier to use, and the best news is you don't have to prick your fingers anymore. Arriva makes it simple. They bill Medicare directly. There are no upfront costs, and they deliver your supplies right to your door for free.
For more information, call 1-800-587-7095.
This is Sports Zone, only on 18 Eyewitness News, with Jeremy Martin.
The Cardinals are set to welcome more than 20 members of the club's 1982 World Championship team to St. Louis this weekend for a 30th anniversary celebration. Events honoring that club are planned for all 3 days of the Cardinals series against Milwaukee. The focal point of the reunion will take place on Saturday when members of that 1982 team will be honored in a pregame ceremony. The Brewers and the Cardinals will wear replica jerseys from the 1982 season that night as well. Alumni of the 1982 team who are expected to attend this weekend's ceremonies include Ozzie Smith, Whitey Herzog, Bruce Sutter, Red Schoendienst, and Keith Hernandez. The St. Louis Rams had their first full squad practice in shoulder pads, and the intensity got turned up. There were no punches thrown, but some pushing and shoving and plenty of contact. One player who seemed to be in the thick of it every time was new outside linebacker Jolon Dunbar, the feisty free agent pickup from New Orleans. Another free agent, cornerback Cortland Finnegan, was also involved. As might be expected, head coach Jeff Fisher did not have a problem with any of the spirited exchanges. He told reporters, quote, "They're competing and they understand," end quote. And Mizzou head coach Gary Pinkel says there's no doubt quarterback James Franklin will be ready for the Tigers opener. Both Pinkel and Franklin said after Thursday's opening day of fall camp that he could play right now. Pinkel said Franklin is showing no signs of problems coming off shoulder surgery in March. Franklin told reporters he was being careful with his throws, but gradually will air it out. Mizzou, 8-5 last season, began 2-a-days on Friday with the first full pad workout set for Monday. The season opener is September 1st against Southeastern Louisiana. And that's a look at sports. Fred and Dustin, back over to you.
Dustin, it is good to be back in good old Southeast Missouri.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I was in Florida for a few days. Doing some work at our radio and television stations there. The one big thing I noticed down there that we didn't have up here was rain. I mean, every day you could just about set your watch to it at 3:30, 4 o'clock. You got a good shower for at least 30 minutes, and then things would dry up down there. And I was really feeling sorry for you folks up here not having a lot of rain, because I know we need it.
We do need it. We're in this major drought. We've seen drought-like conditions for the last several months, and it looks like the outlook, we're going to be above normal in temperatures for the next couple of months. We're going to be below normal in the rainfall and moisture. So we're just going to continue to be on this drought. It's not going to help the crops, you know, the people that are farming.
Right.
They're having to sell their animals just to make money.
Right.
And it's just not helping. Prices will essentially go up. And they're talking that it won't happen now. It'll happen towards the beginning of next year when they'll start going up. We've already started seeing gas prices going up.
Right.
Is that a contributing factor to the gas prices, do you think? I mean,
yeah, you know, part of the gasoline production now is based with ethanol. Right. Which is based on corn production and a lot of the other cash crops. And without those, you don't have the ethanol. So now you go back to fossil fuel, it costs more.
Right. I know the gas prices have gone up at least 10 cents in the last 24 to 48 hours. And it's just, it's kind of getting scary out there if you think about it. But we do have the chance of some rainfall tomorrow. So let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. And as we look at it, the chance of an isolated thunderstorm is here or there, high near 100 degrees. Then Aaron Cox, if you're watching, here's a good news for you. He was hoping for no rain on Sunday. He's moving on Sunday. No rain, looks like maybe a pop-up thunderstorm, but right now it looks pretty dry. 93 degrees, 94 on Monday, and then we're starting to warm things back up. By the end of next week, we're going to start seeing temperatures near 100 again. It's just going to continue to be hot. There's no other thing to say other than hot.
Folks, thanks for watching. Dustin and I will be back tonight with more. Until then, have a blessed evening and God bless everyone.
Have a good night, everybody. Newswatch is next. We'll see you tonight at 10.
Do you see news happening in your neighborhood? Email us at news@kdkz.tv.
Here's what's coming up tonight on KDKZ 18.